Hello, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. Uh, Coming at you with Flosstube update number 42. Um, just a, I always say, just a real quick message. And I end up, talking for kind of a long time. But hopefully, this is just a quickie, I think, because I don't have really a whole lot to talk about. Um, for those of you who are subscribers, welcome back. For those who may be tuning in for the first time, thank you very much for watching. And anyway, just a couple of little catch-up things. I think last time I talked about what I did for Christmas stitching and all that, and so one of the things I did not do was I didn't do. Excuse me, I have a little fuzzy thing on. I had planned on doing some stitching for my brother-in-law's mother and sister, and I ended up not doing that because I got kind of bogged down and kind of busy with the little pillow finishes I did for my sisters and my niece and my cousin, and so those two projects and a little one for my aunt, I had kind of come up with them at the last minute, just sort of like, oh, I could do this, and I ended up not doing that after all because I just didn't have time. If I had thought about it earlier, and got started on them earlier, I got started on everything earlier, I probably would have been able to pull them off to some degree, but I just didn't have time at the end. But anyway, but my brother-in-law's sister, her birthday is at the end of January, so I was able to finish her little gifts, so I can give them to her for her birthday, and her mother, for my brother-in-law's mother. So it's kind of it's so awkward to say. They're not really my in-laws, but they kind of, my in-laws, my brother-in-law's family. Um. Anyway, his mother. I still want to do the project for her. I don't know when her birthday is. But I could just give her her little gift when I finish it, if whenever I finish it, at any point. So anyway, some of you, sorry about looking down here. So many of you might remember that I did this bookmark. I still haven't sent it to my brother. This is part of his Christmas present. I wanted. I am going to tie dye a little handkerchief bandana for him. He plays. I talked about before. He plays with the Santana tribute band. The name of which escapes me right now. Anyway, and they were supposed to play out here for the state fair at the beginning of October, and that kind of fell through because it turns out they weren't going to get paid to play for them, so they didn't do the gig. But my brother was already planning to come out here for that, so he came out. And while he was out here, my younger sister and I went with him to look at this one particular shop in town that my sister referred to as the hippie shop, and but they sold a lot of tie-dye stuff and all that, and he was kind of looking for something that he could wear for some of these concerts. So I was originally going to do like a tie-dye, like a t-shirt or something for him, that he could wear to those concerts if he wanted to, but but I didn't hear back like what size to get him, and I decided to do the bandana thing instead. I found some that were already uh, looked appropriate, kind of pre-printed things that I found at Hobby Lobby, and then I bought a white one, and a little tie-dye kit thing, um, and that I hope to experiment with it or to work on it either sometime this weekend anyway. But anyway, so I had done this bookmark, and then I'm gonna do the little tie-dye project hopefully for him. And actually, while I'm at it, because they're kind of the tie-dye bottles are kind of big, and this bandana is very small, so I'm going to, I think, use the tie-dye dye on some material that I have. I have this ugly, I think it's ugly, this kind of putty colored fabric. It's Ada cloth, um, and I tried to dye this one like I put it in the tea and coffee dye, and it came out just a darker version of slightly darker version of the same thing. So it's still almost the same color. So anyway, I have this, and excuse me, I didn't plan on showing this before, but anyway, I have another piece of the same fabric. It's basically the same color, but this one hasn't been dyed or anything. Um, but I got this from my sister, my younger sister. She had started to do something on it, and so I'm taking this stitching out, or I had been, and it's very tedious because I'm doing it with a seam ripper thing, and I'm trying not to rip the fabric, which I did at one point. There's some one of these places in here. There's a place in here where accidentally I accidentally cut the fabric, so it has a few stitches that I don't know if I can. Probably once yeah, it's right here. Right there. So I think if I can stitch over it, it might not be so bad. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm gonna throw this fabric and this fabric. The tie-dye kit that I bought is like some blue and teal. It's like 3 colors, and it's called Moody Blues. So they're like blues and a couple of blues and a green, I think, are the 3 shades that are in this little package. But anyway, so I'm hoping that they'll do something with that fabric. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm gonna work on that. I think today. That's today's project or this weekend project. Anyway, so then so I had talked about, I did these things for Christmas, these projects for Christmas, and it was a lot of work. Excuse me, one of my cats is bugging me, so I have to pick him up and kiss his belly button. This is Puck. He wants me to hold him because I'm not paying attention to him, because I'm paying attention to something else. He's a tuxedo. I'm kissing his little pie paws. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I kind of lost my stitching mojo for a little while, because I had, like I said, I was right up to the wall with my Christmas project, and so I kind of took some time off from stitching at all, and while I was getting ready for the new year, and thinking, well, I wanted to do something maybe for high tea, and I wanted to do something for the new year, and I just kind of and actually this past Friday, I really didn't do anything for Friday. We were kind of running around doing some things, and I was working on that piece of fabric, trying to pull the stitches out of that, and so I didn't do a whole lot, and I didn't do any stitching after. Excuse me, after this other project that I did. But anyway, so I did do. I don't know if I. Well, okay. Let me put this in the right order. So my New Year's new start kind of thing was gonna be this daily walk in the woods, and it still is. This is my project that I'm determined to work on for the new year, and I have it in a hoop right now, but well, that's my cat. But so I got some work on it. I was trying to say, oh, I'm about halfway. No, I'm not. This is less than halfway. But anyway, so this was what I had done before, and I had worked on this on the tree, on filling in these leaves on the tree, these sections. So I started here. I want to say New Year's Day, or that evening or whatever. I started to fill this in, and as you can see, it's empty because I accidentally started with a different color. I put in, like, I don't know, about half of this section right here. I did like 2 or 3 rows, and I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? That's a different color than this. It's a different shade than this. And as it turned out, I had picked up the wrong bobbin of floss and done these in the wrong color. So I pulled it all out. And, yeah, so I set it aside because it was the wrong color. And my floss was kind of all mixed up because I've been working on these projects. So I had the floss that I had set aside for Daily Walk of the Woods, I had gone through it and pulled things out for all these other projects I was doing. And so, I didn't know where the right color. The problem was that when I looked at the color key for, for this project, there are 2 symbols that are very similar. And I don't know if I can show you this page, but so anyway, this is the page of symbols, and there are 2 symbols that are very similar. They're sort of like starburst looking. One of them looks like a little bit like an asterisk, and the other one looks like more of a starburst kind of thing. And you have to kind of look at it carefully to see. How many, is this the asterisk or is it the starburst? Because it's a matter of like how many little, legs the circle has. Does it have just a few to make it more like an asterisk, or does it have a lot to make it more like a sunburst? And I didn't look very closely, and it's actually, and in the little tree part, where the pattern is, it's kind of hard to tell whether it's a starburst or an asterisk. And when I looked at it again, I realized, oh, it's more like an asterisk. If you hear noise, that's Puck playing with his turbo scratcher, sliding it across the floor. Anyway, so I worked on the tree. It was the wrong floss. I pulled it all out. So I was kind of bummed, and I couldn't find the floss that I was looking for. But the floss that I had in my hand that was wrong was correct for my for the bookmark I was doing. And as I showed the bookmark last week that I was working on for my brother-in-law's sister, but I wasn't happy with it because it was like the back stitching on it was not showing up. I had done 2 colors backwards. I had picked up again. It was there was one color for one symbol and one color for another symbol, and I got them backwards. So this is the three patterns the pattern I was working on before. I had put them, I got them from a magazine, from I think Crusted Treasure magazine, these little cactus patterns, and I had put them together, and made them fit on this bookmark. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't happy with it, so I redid it. And I had Tiny Modernists. I think it's a freebie, but I had downloaded a Biscornu pattern. Maybe it's not a freebie. I don't know. But anyway, I had downloaded this pattern for a Biscornu, and it was a southwestern thing, so it had this pattern for a saguaro cactus on it, and so with a little few minor adaptations, I realized it would fit very nicely on this bookmark. So I pulled out all the stitches from before. Sorry, my cats are attacking each other now. Excuse me, one. Oh, okay. So anyway, I pulled out all the stitching I did before and redid it, recharted it, and so I redid it and finished it. This was, like I said, this green color was the green color that I did by mistake on the tree. Excuse me. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I just scolded my cat. Anyway, so I did this one, and I just did this little half stitch border around it. But I was very happy with the way this looks. And there's no back stitching, so I didn't have to worry about that. So there's one. And then I did another one. This is a sort of a Harry Potter themed idea. It says Mischief Managed, and then there's this says Lumos and Nox, and there's Harry Potter's glasses, and I did figure out how to do lightning bolt. I kind of wish this was the other way, but this is what I had room for. I wish it was like longer on the top, but this is all I had room for. And then I did like a kind of a back stitch type border around the edges to outline it. But so there's that, and then oops, it's a cat hair appropriately. I did this one cat lead to another. This is an Ernest Hemingway quote that I actually have. I have on a back stitch, on a cross stitch pattern. But there's so there's some cats on it in this quote, and it does say Ernest Hemingway on the thing, but I didn't have room to put it on this bookmark. But so I did this design snug. Sorry, my cat is scratching at the door. I don't know why they chose this moment to. A minute ago, they were both sleeping. So I had arranged this, did this pattern. So here's some kitties, and I added their tails. They didn't have tails at first, but I added the tails. And I did backstitch around the cats because I did their ears and stuff with the back stitching, because there's no way to, because of this perforated. These are cardstock kind of things. Excuse me. And there's no way to do like half stitches, or quarter stitches, or anything like that. So for their ears, I just did a back stitch, and that it made their ear shape very nicely. And then I did a couple of back stitches just for their eyes. This one doesn't show up as well, but they're green. And this one I did blue, so so it'd be pretty. And then I did a sort of a back stitch border around the edge. So I'm very happy. And they came with the little cording, and I had posted them on the Friday at the Grid group. Excuse me, cat. But anyway, but they're heavy, like a cardstock, heavy paper. But it was a little kit that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and it comes with like this is yeah, it came with like this one I did too. I did a double sided one for my brother um, but it comes with like three of each color, three of the black, three white, and three brown. So I have two of each of these left over, but I used all the black ones. Anyway, so it's a real nice nice kit, and it came with like three little patterns, and then a blank thing where you could do your own patterns. Um, so it's a real nice, easy kit to use, uh, and yeah, I highly recommend it for people who still read real books. Anyway, uh, so that was what I worked on. Those three bookmarks I worked on this past week. I think I started it. I started them uh, either New Year's Day or the day after. I think January 2nd, and finished them earlier this week. I think on Thursday. I finished them Thursday or Friday, like in the wee hours of Friday or whatever. So yeah, so they were real quick stitch. Once I got the design worked out, they were pretty quick to stitch. I did use uh, I used 4 threads because these holes are pretty substantial. They're pretty big. It's like using I don't know what, like 11 count or something, 8 o'clock. They're pretty big holes. So I used 2 threads doubled over, um, because I do loop start on most things, and using the loop start, I did have like this is the back side, some the threads are a little bit exposed, um, and if I'd had more of these bookmarks, I could have done double sided like I did for my brother. I stitched it twice and then used the back stitching to stitch them together. So the only thing that shows is uh, where I stuck them together. Because of all these other areas, uh, the 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 finishing things are hidden underneath. They're hidden, where I put them together. But anyway, so you can see, it's kind of a little bit exposed on the back, but otherwise it's it's pretty neat. Uh-huh. But so yeah, I used 4 threads, and that gave pretty good coverage here, uh, considering. So anyway, that's about it. I think I do want to get back to daily walk in the woods. Sorry, daily walk in the woods, and now that so I did spend some time like going through all my DMC floss and uh, uh, finding everything again for this, and you know uh, putting all the flosses that I'm not using, all the ones for my Christmas projects or whatever. Um, I put them all aside. I have what I call my junk bag, which is all the flosses that I'm not using right now are in that bag to be put back uh, in my floss boxes. I just watched Priscilla and Chelsea's newest video, and Chelsea was talking about how all her DMC flosses are all in jumble because she had not put them away because she'd been working on stuff, and so she spent the day putting them away. And I'm going to have to do that soon um, because when I was going through the flosses for my daily walk in the woods thing, there are two, or I think two, that are missing, that were in the box before, but they've gotten jumbled up, and I haven't been able to find them, and that I have one other place to look, but I think, but so far I don't know what I did with it. I had it before, and I don't know what I did with it. Um, but excuse me, something in my shirt. Um, but so anyway, so yeah, I have, there's some a couple of colors that I have to look for. But but otherwise, like I said, I've sort of like gone through everything and reorganized everything, and so hopefully I can get back to working on Daily Walk in the Woods. Um, sorry. Yeah. I don't make New Year's resolutions so much, but my one stitching related, excuse me, uh, resolution is that I want to try to finish all my whips this year. Um, I know that I'm not going to have. Uh, I have some new starts, that I want to do this year. And for instance, for Stitch Nanigans, the Arizona retreat that's coming up in April, I want to do something for the exchange that we're going to have. So um, I have a couple things in mind, some things that I might do. Um, but I have to do that very soon because that's coming up, and I don't want to be down to the wire again like I was for Christmas. And what I'm thinking of is gonna require some some thought and some stitching, some stuffing and sewing. I think if I do what I think I'm gonna do, it's gonna require some work, some finishing work. So I don't want to have to be doing I don't want to be doing things down to the wire if I don't have to. I want to finish those early so I can you know get whatever project I decide on, get it done as soon as possible, so that I'm not doing things last minute. Um, and I've got a couple of things that I bought uh, over the Christmas break. I think I showed them last week. The stuff I had ordered from Teresa Bennett, the kitten stitcher. I have to make sure I don't pick this up because the kitchen stitchers are different from the kitten stitcher. Um, but anyway, so yeah, I had ordered a couple things. So I think they're kind of often waiting in the wings, and uh, to add to my haul pile. Um, and I have a couple of things in this haul pile that new patterns that I hope to work on this year. But I want to get all my whips out of the way. So that's gonna take some work. Um, I have a couple of big projects. I have a lot of old projects. Um, and I may or may not work on those as I don't know, but or I may save them for May and do another Whip Mania in May. I don't know, but so far anyway. So my resolutions for this week are to work on those whips, and to, like I said, to get back to Daily Walk of the Woods. I really want to finish this because it's I was looking at it at when I was organizing the floss for it and everything. I was looking at the pattern again and kind of getting excited for it again, and making a few notes on my the copy that I have, like, so that these little threads from this pattern that I was pulling out everywhere. But so I was, getting excited about it and again, and marking on my pattern, like which colors are which, because it's kind of hard to tell. Like some of the backstitch colors that are used for the trunks of some of the smaller trees, like like this one down here, they use a backstitch color for the trunk and the branches of the tree, these little ones, and they're kind of hard to tell. I'm like, well, is that blue or is that black, or is this color brown or that color brown? Because they're hard to tell from the printed off uh, the printout that I have, the PDF that I printed off, and I have to like sort of stare at them in the bright light to tell what color is which. And so I was trying to make myself notes like this is this color and this is this color, and um, on my pattern. And so anyway, so I'm hoping to get excited about it again and finish it off, or at least make some significant progress on it before I do some other things. And I have to just sort of go through my stash and decide what I'm going to do for the gift exchange for Shenanigans. That's kind of coming up sooner than you might think. For me anyway, because I have a lot of ducks to get in a row, I guess, before I settle down and get started on it. I have to just go through and make a decision, and that's hard for me. The more options I have, the harder it is for me to make a decision about something. So I have to just decide on a project and that I can finish in time for the exchange, and something worthy. I think I don't want to do anything you know boring, I guess, for the exchange. I want the person that gets a gift from me to be happy with it. So I want to do something nice. Um, so I have to decide, and I also have to decide what am I capable of doing in the time frame, and also in terms of like finishing. It's something that, because I want to finish it completely to give this to this person, to give to whoever, and I want it to be something that like I said, that I'm capable of doing. Um, and so I have to make that decision pretty soon, and so I have time to do whatever I have to do. Anyway, so that's what's coming up for me, and I'm wearing my painted pig T-shirt. It says "Peace, Love, Pig." It's very wrinkled. Um, I'm wearing this because actually this just a couple of days, yeah, this past week, I had a little Facebook exchange with the girl who owns Painted Pig. Um, I used to go there pretty often, and actually, she had posted a picture of they just moved, or are in the process of moving to a new space, and they had mentioned where it was, and I was like, I was trying to picture where that was. Um, and so, because I used to live there in Little Rock, of course. And so I had posted, well, where is that? And and I was surprised that she actually remembered me, because it's been a while since I've been there. Of course, since I lived here for almost for I guess since 2015. I can't do the math right now. Three and a half years or whatever. Um, uh, so it's been a while since I've been to the Painted Pig. It's a paint your own pottery uh, thing, and and so it's been a while since I've been there. But I used to go there pretty often. I used to go there for they had a girls' night out kind of thing on Thursday nights, and I also like one Christmas I painted ornaments for everybody in my family, um, and things like that. And so I used to go there pretty often, um, and so they actually remembered me. I was surprised that she remembered me, you know, and my talking about my cats and things like that. But anyway, so yeah, I thought I would wear this T-shirt for her. Just not that she watches me, but just I thought it was appropriate. Anyway, so like I said, those are my plans. Um, I'm hoping it's nothing really exciting, Um, but there it is. So I think that's all. That's all I have to talk about this week. Um, Nothing exciting, just a few finishes. Anyway, so um, again, thank you for your subscriber. Thank you for watching, and I hope I don't know to have to show you more progress next week. And that's it. I think. Okay. Uh, until next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.